but I think fear is a fantastic thing. I do have fears that I have not yet overcome, and I don't want to overcome them. I do have the fear of not being able to take care of my family, for example, if the Matrix attack is successful. I do have fears of, I call it fear, but this actually sounds quite arrogant. It's not a fear, but I love now, and I'm very accustomed to having anything I want all of the time. I would hate to go back. So I do wake up and think I don't really feel like working today, but Andrew, you can have anything you want all of the time. If I want a Kernan's egg, I buy a Kernan's egg. So yeah, I am motivated by the lack. I'm motivated by the dark and the yin and the yang. I'm not motivated by the light. When I buy a brand new $6 million car, I'm not motivated to work harder because I have a $6 million car. I'm motivated to work harder because I would hate not being able to buy a $6 million car. And I feel like perhaps my whole life I've been motivated the dark as opposed to
But
the
is
light.
that an attachment to lack in some way?
Of-
Still?
I think it is, but I think it's just an attachment to the dark. I think the masculine essence is. Even when I was a professional fighter, I wanted to win. But the primary reason I wanted to win is so that I could make him lose. It wasn't about me winning. It was about him losing. He spent 8 weeks calling out my name and telling the world he's going to beat me and telling his wife, don't worry, wife, it's going to be okay. I'm going to win. I'm going to pay for the kids. Don't
Yeah.
worry. I love you. I'm training so hard. And he's told the whole world he's going to beat me. So by forcing him to lose in front of his family, that gave me satisfaction more than winning itself. I've always been attached to the dark of
Yeah.
the world. I feel like the dark of the world has always motivated me. So on the yin and the yang scale, I have a lot of light and I have so much beauty and I have a very blessed life.
Yeah.
But it is because I've been so deeply in the dark and understand the realities of how the world works. But that's just always been what motivated me. If I want to, once again, put it down to something asinine like buying a car, if I want to buy a Kernan's egg, I don't care about driving the car. I just want other people to not be able to have it. And I just want to be able to say, look, I can spend $6 million on WhatsApp in 10 minutes.
Who are these other people?
Other rich people who have to think about it or finance it or contemplate it
Correct.
or sell a house.
Right.
I just want to be able to like, bing, bing, took it, ha, ha, ha.
Instant gratification, impulsive? What?
I think it's just about the others losing. I think the world has tried very hard to breed this out of men, but I am unapologetic about it, and I'm not afraid to admit it, that I am absolutely interested in conquest. I'm interested in peacocking my feathers and being the best. I'm interested in showing off. I'm interested in alpha male high. Look at me. I have everything. I can do everything. Look at me. This is who I am. And they say that this is all bad and toxic masculinity, but that's, again, just a massive psyop. The entire world was built off the back of toxic masculinity. All the high buildings in Mumbai are built by men who want to prove themselves and say, look what I can do. I can literally go and build a building that's 100 stories high. You need an ego. And I'm ego-driven and ego-fueled, and I don't let it control me, but satisfying my ego makes me happy, and feeling pride makes me happy.
How
And
do you
I'm-
prevent the ego to sabotage you?
Well, the ego sabotages you when you allow it to delude you. And this is what a lot of people do, because they'll have an ego without the real world accomplishments, and then they become deluded, and then they become non-competitive. To remain effective, you need to be very firmly in the real world. I have a massive ego, but I'm also a realist. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm bad at. I don't apologize ever for saying what I'm good at, and I will sit here and admit the things I cannot do. But as long as you have feedback that you're going to take on board and you have a good team around you and you're also self-analyzing all the time, then you can remain a realist and an egotist, and then I think you'll do very well. The masculine ego has built the entire world. It's the reason nearly every single man ever went to war and conquered anything. The masculine ego, in fact, it's very interesting. I was talking to a girl the other day, and I was saying that men crave adventure more than women. She was saying, oh, no, I like adventure. I don't just want to sit at home. I like to go out and explore things and go to restaurants,
Correct.
etc. I said, no. What you like to do is run around, going to restaurants and going shopping. You call that an adventure. Masculine adventure is the men who decided to go to Antarctica and freeze to death. There's no shopping. There's no sushi. Yeah. They just felt like they had to do it to satisfy their ego and to place their names in the history books.
True.
So there's something inside of every man that feels that, and they try and breed it out of men because they're afraid of that masculine spirit, because that masculine spirit is hard to conquer, and they want to conquer us all. But I have no problems admitting that I am motivated by the dark of the yin and the yang, and I have no problems admitting that my ego motivates me and that I'm motivated by pride, and I like to feel proud, and I do things that allow me to feel proud. And as long as I stay realistic and I don't become egocentric, then I feel like it makes me as competitive as possible.
So you keep upskilling yourself?
Well, you have to always push the limits, right? What's the point in living otherwise.
What are you doing right now to
Well,
just keep yourself up there?
well, this is the thing. It's in general. It doesn't matter if you go to the gym and you try and lift more weights. It doesn't matter if you try and make more money that you can't possibly spend.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you need more beautiful children.
Yeah.
You always need something to do, right? And you always need somewhere to push. They say when you retire, you die. I would argue that's probably true. Or sharks die.
No,
when
that's
they stop
true.
swimming.
That is true.
Of course, it's true.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of men out there who perhaps are battling with themselves because the matrix and system has told them, no, you're not supposed to think that way. You're not supposed to be that way. You're egotistical. You're driven by pride. You should get rid of all that. And you should, I don't know what, become soppy goo instead, just some porridge mess that the matrix can program. But no, you're supposed to wake up and look in the mirror and say, this is my name. This is who I am. I'm going to be the best version of myself. And everybody's going to respect